Trench warfare scarred the continent of Europe a century ago and more before Russia invaded Ukraine. It was terrifying in the First World War, and so it is again in Ukraine. This time, we can see it happen in a landscape of evocatively shattered trees, the hell of it visible to the wider world, a benefit, if you can call it that, of modern video technology. In head camera pictures obtained by our team in eastern Ukraine, soldiers of one Ukrainian battalion filmed their unit literally fighting for their lives as they came under intense and deadly Russian assault near Bakhmut. It is a very tough watch, a clear and visceral demonstration of what the young men of Ukraine and Russia are doing day after terrifying day.
He is bound for a place called Dead Man's Trench. It's where the artillery has just struck. They call it Dead Man's Trench because inside are Russians in decay. Senior Lieutenant Oksandr Yavshenko is about to discover that amidst those bodies is the body of his friend who made the walk just a few moments before him. What happened, he asks. The young, stunned soldiers simply stare at where the shell hit and where the 22-year-old soldier's body lies. But this is only the start. The commander begins to shore the defences, and there's another hit.
Лёха, ты як? Лёха!
He's alive, but now they know Russian forces are coming for them. They have to break cover, or their war will be over. This is Alexander. He's a doctor who took an oath to preserve life. Now he's fighting for his own and his men's. A Russian soldier runs towards him and throws a grenade. It misses. Russian paratroopers are advancing from the right and left flanks. Of the 8 Ukrainians, only 4 have seen battle before. They go to grab ammunition from their dead colleague as their supplies run low, but it's already been used. Finally, Ukrainian artillery is in the battle. The drone unit orders the soldiers back to the trench. Somehow, they've held it. They lost 2 of their men in the process. Back at his base, Alexander explains the battle that nearly killed them all.
Here he is throwing a grenade. I was happy that he threw it at me, because if he had thrown it into the bunker, the guys would have died and we would have lost our position. They would have killed us in that bunker. It happened in a split second. I saw the enemy and immediately started shooting in that direction. The main task was to attract his attention. He paid attention, threw a grenade. I crouched down, the grenade exploded. I got up and continued to fire where he was.
What the Da Vinci Wolves went through is by no means unique. Old and new fighters are battling like that day and night.
Bullets are whizzing, explosions are going off, but you don't pay attention to it. You're doing your job, and you have your sector, and you have to make sure that the enemy does not get through. Because if they do, they can destroy your group. It lasted about 30 minutes, and usually such attacks last about 10 minutes.
It's not just land that's being fought for, it's the weaponry too. They hide their spoils of war well on the front line and unwrap them like the finest of gifts. This is a tank taken from the Russians. They're proud of what they've seized and know it brings them battlefield advantage. It's one of many, they won't say how many, now part of the Ukrainian armory.
Достатньо, We are excited about the tanks. It was time for me to receive new ones from the Ukrainian government, but I was lucky and got these T-80s. I'm really impressed by it. We are delighted because it's a good tank.
There were at least 8 where we filmed. Weapons which days ago were firing on the Ukrainians, now being loaded up to be fired back across the front line. They don't take them from beneath the tree line for long. They don't want to lose what they fought so hard to gain.
In moments of levity, the troops speculate that they're getting more tanks from the Russians than they are from the West at the moment. But they know that tanks like this are still on the front line, aiming at them.
Yet for all the taking of weaponry, territory is what they really want. The disputed borders, old and new, now fought over day and night, as Ukraine tries to claw back every inch of occupied land. There is no talk of peace here, just the unending sound of war.
And Emma joins us now from Dnipro. Emma, I mean, really astonishing footage there, an astonishing kind of visceral first-hand account of what it is like to fight for your life every day, but only over meters of land. How unusual or usual is this?
It's not unusual, Tom. This is happening all the time here. They are trying to push forward in this counter-offensive, but what they're fighting for are very, very small amounts of territory. One thing that struck me when we were speaking to Alexander, the senior lieutenant, today, was a phrase. He said that time flies over a very long time. And when you look at that footage, you realise just how long it must feel, but equally how quick it must go when you're facing that kind of assault. You know, today in London there's a conference where donors are being asked for money to try and help rebuild Ukraine when this war comes to an end. But speaking to the soldiers on the front line, as we have over the past few days, it's quite clear that the future is not something any of them take for granted, and that footage shows you why. At the moment, all they want is to keep on fighting in the hope that there will be a sovereign Ukraine to be rebuilt. And that's why, over and over, the message that we keep on getting night after night, day after day, is that they need more Western weaponry, they need more Western support. And interestingly, one of the things that came out of this battle is that they want British drones because they feel that they are far more successful on the battlefield. And when you look at what happened there, there's no doubt what a very big role the drones played. But tonight, those battles are going on here, and there is no sense that this is going to come to an end at any point soon.